now that the valve job is done and you can see the areas of the gray lines, I've took some really intense photos here. I'm going to get you in a minute, but what I wanted to show you right here is this is how I plot, and I've showed you on some of my other videos, but I'm going to go over it here again. This device right here is one that I made up and welded. There's a lot of people that make stuff similar. There's nothing trick about it. It just uses a simple machine screw. See, it's bent a little bit now. I've been using it so much over the years. But what this does, it gives me a scribe point to anchor off this arbor, and I can use mathematics to determine the length, how much of a cut that I want below the 45-degree angle. See, if it's for street use, I'll put a lot of radius. If it's drag racing, I put very little, depending on what it is. You hear a lot of this stuff about valve diameter, 92%, swear this, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying it's a bunch of crap, but it can be very easily misinterpreted. Basically what it is where I went in there and cut all the raw meat out of the bowls. Now where I went in there and done the valve job, and you remember the 60, how shiny it was, it's all green now because the valve job has been done. The 45 is the gray area. Well, this is, to me, is one of the most important parts, because all the work that I've done on the runners in the head at this point has been right around in here from the entrance all the way up to the bowls. Now as I get ready to go around the short turn and come out, the exit is very important. Now, several things come into factor here, and believe it or not, weight of the vehicle is one of them. Weight, the velocity, bore and stroke, and this area here, this radius, how much I cut out right here is going to channel the air to give it a better cylinder pack at whatever RPM I choose. You can't have your cake and eat it too, so you have to figure out, okay, where am I going to be spending most of my time? Is it going to be 2,000, 4,000, 6,000 or 7,000, what have you? And this radius or fillet that I've got left in overhang, I'm going to use this pointer to draw me a scribe line, which I've already done the math, figured out how many thousandths in the 70-degree cut, because what I've got here is actually a 4 angle in the bowl. It's 70, 60, 45, and a 30. Okay, and then I'm going to go in here with the scribe tool. As you can see, let me pull it up so you can get a better. And the mark that it's going to make is going to be a little thin mark. I rotate it around. Okay, and then it's going to leave a line. I'll see if I can get it in here at the line and where you can see it. Okay, let's see what we got now. Okay. I have to shine the light because it's so bright. I'm going to do something here soon. I'm getting ready to invest in some lighting equipment. The quality of the videos are going to get a lot better soon. Alright, there's a little line right here. I'd say probably, maybe, in the number I'm probably lying to you here, it might be 80,000, 60,000 from the edge of the 45-degree seat to the part where the line is. So that when I'm going in there and cutting that bowl, I can lay the belly of the flame or the egg or whatever I'm using and dig to where it layers into this right here, and is going to give me the discharge coefficient from the intake port out into the chamber, which is going to be controlled by the RPM of the motor, where I'm putting it at, and weight of the vehicle has a lot more to do with it than what most people think. So this little tool is a lifesaver because it's going to put me in the same spot on each one of the bowls. I'll do it intake and exhaust. Once I get these lines cut right here, which you can see the line. I'm looking through the viewfinder so I can see it. Right around in here, you see the line? See how it cuts all the way across? That'll be my point that I stop digging so hard, and then I'll do a slight roll with either a sand roller or a stone and pull it right in. And they'll all be exactly the same. That's a big part of this, is getting them all the same where it rolls into the same angle, and the discharge is the same on all of it. Consistency is the key on that deal. Alright, so I've showed you my bowl plotter, how it's got an adjustable nut. I can screw it up and down depending on what math, where I want it on the 70 to cut the meat. And the funny thing is, while we're talking about this, I would be willing to say, I've thrown a lot of percents at you, 85% of the shops that I know of, first off, they'd never port one of these that hard. They'd give you that VST, remember, velocity scare tactic. Oh, you can't take too much out, you're going to hurt velocity, and then it won't run as good as a bunch of bull crap, because, simply put, they're just not wanting to go in there and put the arm and muscle into it to cut the meat out. Well, now 85% of them at this point right here, the port work's done. They're not going to go back in there after all this is done and risk getting that cutter right up to the seat. They're just not going to do it, and this is what is so critical. And I'm going to show you a way that you're going to be able to tell if this was done, if it was radiused and cut up to it when I'm done, because there's a telltale mark that you'll be able to look at and see if these guys went in there and gave it to all four. Do I hit the seat? Not very often. I'd say maybe out of 10 pairs of head, I might accidentally rub up against it, but I've just been doing this so long, I switch cutters and go to one I got control, because the great big butcher hogs, as I call them, with the big spreads and the blades, it removes material so hard you don't have the control over going to a smaller, closer blades to go in there and pull it through. So I'll change 3 different cutters just in this last part. I typically, at this part here, it takes anywhere from about 8 to 10 hours to complete the bowls. Right now, it's about 11 o'clock at night. My customer's going to be here probably between 8 and 9 in the morning. He's called averaged 4 to 6 times a day, which... kind of unnerving, but I understand. The guy's been over in Afghanistan. He's got a motor sitting there waiting, and you know, I guess if I was over there and been through what he'd been through, I'd be foaming at the mouth too. But there was mechanical issues we had to straighten out on the head that was dropped on me I didn't know about. So anyway, no head leaves Headbytes until I'm happy. I do not let them go. If the customer decides to take it, what I do is I have a piece of paper that I sign, and it says you're taking it before it's finished. I'm not happy with mechanical this, that, and other, because I have to, because if I don't and it don't run good, I get a finger pointed at me. And after this amount of detail work, I got to have perfection. This thing is going to be a screamer, and I would match this old 40-year-old head against any Dart Merlin 290 aluminum or iron head. With what I've done to it, it would kick the fire out of it, depending on the weight of the vehicle. Like I said, it has a lot to do with it. And I'm dealing here with about 3,300 to 3,400 pounds, so I know the size of port, the amount of radius and velocity I'm wanting to pull out of the head to give this guy what he's got to have. All right. Anyway, enough said about that. I'm going to go ahead and mark them all up, then I'll let you see it, and I'll begin the final layer on the bowl. Hey, you see where my pointer was at? I just took some photos. I'm trying to photo it, and those of you who know my website, www.headbytes.com, there'll be a story with this, with the photos and everything of how this went down. My pointer is pointing at the line. That's where I scribe the line, and I'll roll over the line, and then I'll touch it with a smaller blade and then a stone to roll it into that 70-degree seat. But everything from here back will be cut. The short turn will be straightened out. This is the area that's left after I do the bowl job, because like I said, it's part of the puzzle. This is about 20% from the turn right here and back there out to the bowl, because the rest of the port, all the work has been done, and I've got a nice spread rolling right into the bowl. I'm glad the customer decided to go ahead and spend the rest of the money to complete it, because that'd be a shame to do all that internal work and then right here form a bottleneck and squeeze it down. So my hat's off to you, John, for listening to me. I appreciate it. I just couldn't do no more for nothing, dude. You know, it's It's a lot of labor, a lot of hours. Right now, by the way, so you guys know, the amount of hours in this is 68.5. I'm at 68 and a half hours. It's 2:45 a.m. in the morning on Saturday, the 1st of, the 1st of June. So he's going to be here in about 7 hours. That gives me time to complete the bowls, get all that reshaped and blended, and then carry them, wash them, clean them up, and bring them back. Alright, so I'm going to show you how I'm going to attack this.